We're traveling back to 1943 to experience a piece of World War II history in the northeast corner of Nebraska. Welcome to the Fort Robinson German prisoner of war camp, where 3,000 prisoners would spend 3 years of their life. Join me as we see what is left of this historical location. Oh wow, some old brick. It's crazy that there's still stuff here. So obviously everything that was run by the Americans would have been right at the front of the gate, which is why we're seeing at the post exchange, which is the store basically, and then headquarters, and then the officers' stuff right there at the front. And I'm assuming that these barracks and those concrete structures, maybe where they kept ammo? I don't know. I'm not really sure what the significance is of that. I'm assuming that was just drainage, nothing crazy there. It's very surreal being here, because it's just, you know, now it's like, oh, this wasn't much, but it's just, this was a huge camp for well over 3,000 people. So I think what we'll do is, I want to look at that wood over there, because I'm pretty sure that's some old railroad blocks there. This one you can see a lot better into. I'm assuming these were, oh, how deep did those things go? There's actually a ladder right there, or at least some footsteps. I don't know what that's for. Maybe somebody will know. At first I thought maybe fireplaces, but I don't know why those would just be out in the open. But I mean, you just get the size of this, that all this was just full of buildings. I'll have satellite imagery and everything so you can kind of see where I am and what's around us. Got our first foundation right there. Which, you know what, let's try to head over there and not get attacked by a snake. Would be pretty ideal. But like I was saying before, it's weird being here knowing what this was used for. A German P.O.W. camp. Look at that old foundation. vents that go who knows where. Oh, maybe, oh, you know what? I think that might actually be a lot of the old communications poles, like we saw back there, the only one that was standing left. I'm assuming that's what the case is there. We're backtracking really quick because I want to see if these, because I think these are downward stairs over here. I'm assuming it doesn't go anywhere anymore, but regardless, it would be kind of cool to see if it does. See if there's anything in there. Oh, obviously not, but because it looked like stairs before. Another foundation right there. Because, yeah, once this place closed, they sold all the buildings and everything, so that's why the only things left are anything that was concrete. Because obviously, not very easy to sell concrete, at least not in those days. Ooh, a lot of holes here. Oh, no, it's not stairs. Never mind. It's weird, it almost looks like a garage almost. Rather than, because this was all the officers' stuff. So maybe built their Jeeps there or something. Oh, look at that, some old steps. Should be able to see that. Cactus. Don't step in that. It's always amazing to me how nature just takes things over like nothing. I mean, this used to be a barracks here. Old nail. But I mean, people used to live here, and now there's just a tree growing right in the middle of it. But if you saw the sign in the beginning, it said some of the POW, the Germans, actually stayed. Oh, here was a little side door. But some of the Germans came back to the US because they had some sponsors here. Because what ended up happening is while they were here, they were making money. Wow, there must have been like a window around this area with a ton of nails in it. And possibly some old wood from it. It's hard to tell nowadays, but... But anyways, what they would end up doing here is they would work at the camp as well as working outside the camp. So they would work at, you know, these people's farms and everything like that. And I read a story, because there was, if you look it up, there's a lot of stories, because, you know, this is a small town here in the middle of the country, so there's not really much around here. So you can imagine, you know, it's just, what are the thoughts of everybody? You know, the prisoners coming here, they're like, what's gonna happen now? The town that's here was probably full of maybe 300 people at that time, maybe even less, who knows. But then they're like, we're part of World War history, you know, that we have this small town, and all of a sudden there's prisoners of war just staying out here. But anyways, there was a story that I read from somebody who was living here as a teenager, and this is why I know they worked at the farms in the area, was when he was a teenager, the Germans would come. In the beginning, they were with armed guards and everything like that. But later on, they ended up just coming, you know, with no soldiers at all. They would just come over and work on these people's farms and everything like that. It's just, especially being that young, it's just, you wonder what in the world's going on. Like, why are these people here speaking a different language? Because obviously out here in the 1940s, English is obviously probably the only language you know. So then you get that foreign language coming here, and it's just, it's a very interesting time, and to be walking here and just kind of going off of the pictures that I saw on the internet of where, you know, when the buildings were here and the prisoners were here. It's just so odd to be at this spot and know what actually happened here. And I mean, obviously they were treated a lot better than, you know, if you went to Russia or whatnot as a prisoner of war, since you were actually making money here. You could cook your own food and so forth. We're going to check out this bunker building thing over here. But yeah, you were able to make your own money, cook your own food. They had their own theater here, which I'm hoping they have a sign for where that was. The Playhouse. Alright, sorry about the pause. It was getting way too warm. Because as you saw in the beginning, there was a thunderstorm that rolled through, so now we're back. So this is the chapel, or what remains of said chapel, I should say. Ugh. It looks like it would have held a lot of people. It's a pretty lengthy rectangle of a shape. You know, walking through here makes you think, it's just like, if you have a metal detector, what would you find? Like, would the German soldiers still been carrying, you know, the mark? Was it the Deutsche Mark at that point? I don't know, but, you know, I was just thinking of that, or tools they would have used that got lost under the dirt. And I mean, there must be a ton of historical things in this ground around here. That's the reason I enjoy going to these places, because of the history that you can experience in person, you know? I mean, even just walking through these structures, you just think about how many people were here going about their lives after being captured, fighting for a moron. Because that's another thing too that ended up happening here, are there were huge Nazi folks that were here alongside the people that weren't really too into the whole Nazi thing. So there were complications that happened between the prisoners and so forth. I don't think it happened too often. They didn't talk about it as much. So this would have been the infirmary, which I'm not sure if there's any structure left. Let me see before I waste my time walking over here. And well, there's actually something left. I don't know what it is, but it looks like a concrete pad again. We may as well check it out. Oh yeah, I see it now. Nothing too crazy, but we may as well check it out since we're here. Looking out for snakes here. Oh, look at these old bricks. Wow. Man, if these foundations could talk, it'd be very interesting to see everything that went on. You really don't get the scale of this camp until you're here, because, you know, from satellite imagery it looks like, oh, you know, nothing too crazy. Can walk around here pretty quick. Don't know what that is. But some more foundations for the infirmary, of course. So I'm wondering if each compound was split, because it almost seems like this used to be another gate here. But I'm not sure how true that would be because not every compound had each individual, you know, building. So it's kind of hard to tell. Oh, here's something old again. Oh, wait, no. Wait, what is this? Nope, it's a weed. Never mind. Never mind. I thought it was, you know, like an old gate mechanism. Oh, there's a ton of cactus here. Oh my goodness. Everywhere I'm looking, I'm seeing cactus. So I'm trying to find a guard shack, which there should be one close to us here. Oh, and never mind, I lied. Every compound did have their own infirmary and repair shop and exchange store and all that. So they must have been separated then. Okay, well, I'm glad I looked at it because I have a map. I'll probably have the map up on the screen anyways, kind of showcasing where we are. That way it gives you a visual representation of where we're walking. So let me check satellite imagery really quick and see if there's anything remnants of, or any remnants of a guard tower over here. I mean, you'd think there's something. All I see is rubble. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. We'll just keep going around the edge of the compounds here and then see what we can run into. But I'm gonna quit filming because I have a lot of cactus to avoid here. Why did I just hear somebody talk? Just wanted to chime in really quick in the edit to talk about that. And to this day, because it's been a few weeks now, I absolutely loved having that experience there. Because, you know, I was the only one there. The only people I saw was a truck that drove up for a few seconds and then they left. So, out of the blue, you hear a voice that's just right behind you. And I didn't know what it said at the time. You know, it just threw me off because I heard somebody. But I did listen to the recording there. I couldn't really understand what it said, but I heard something, which was great that it recorded it. I got back home, listened to it, amplified it a bit, and then I finally figured out it said, "What is that?" or "What's that?" So it must have been like an American Guard or something like that. I don't know. It said, "What is that?" And I was holding a GoPro on a stick, you know, like the inflatable stick, instead of me holding the GoPro. So to get that type of question while I'm holding that at a POW camp, like, that is absolutely fascinating to me. And that was the only experience I had, so that's why I was just, why am I hearing somebody in the middle of just this open area? So just thought I'd chime in really quick, let you guys know what happened with that and that awesome experience. Just found some tiles. I'm assuming they were flooring. That's what the back of it looked like. You can see where the glue or whatever they were using was. And then this is what it looked like on the front. Man. It looks like they were nailed down. So that explains why there's been so many nails everywhere. So they came from the floor, because you can see a hole right there. And you, holy crap. Get out of here, bee. But yeah, so this was flooring. Just some tile. I'm surprised any of that's still here, sitting here. Again, like I said before, I'm assuming that this isn't old. A Remington 12 gauge. Here, hang on. The screen always turns off, so I can't see if it's... Somebody that knows guns can tell me. It's probably not old, would be my guess. Because I think hunting is allowed here during some parts of the year. I just don't understand why everything just quits getting cut here. So I'll have to figure my way back to the other compounds here, because I don't want to go back the way we came. We already saw that, you know? Well, in a surprising turn of events, there's actually still like a bucket or something here. You can see it's been here for a while. It's all rusted over, all from the weather elements and sun. Man, I still highly recommend visiting these types of places and just think about the history that's here, because that's what I find fascinating about this stuff is, you know, this is something where you're actually there. It's not like a video game or just looking it up online and like, oh, that's interesting. You're actually here where all of it happened. Like, just imagine you're walking down here now and you see all the other prisoners. You know, you're just living your life here for the few years that you were here. And I mean, especially when you first came here, it's like, how long am I going to be here? Is this the rest of my life? Am I going to go back to Germany? You know, it's just, there's all these thoughts are in my mind, because it's just, you know, it's so fascinating to think about being in the thought process of one of those soldiers that were here, or being in the thought process of one of the farmers that were here, and they're like, wow, we go from just a small town that probably nobody's heard of to one that the whole nation will hear, because now it's like, oh, Chadron has German POWs here. Chadron's now a part of World War history. I mean, it's just, it's interesting to think about all that kind of stuff from the 1940s. Again, look at that old design for foundations there. Oh, here's another one of those. I hope somebody knows what this is, because I don't have any explanation for what these little ground things were. So it must not have gone further down than that, because I don't see a third one poking out of that little step system. Because I was gonna say, you know, chimney or fireplace, but you would see smoke burns, you know, just the black crap from the fire. It wouldn't have been an oven. Really interesting. Maybe storage? I don't know. Who knows? Because it was next to the exchange, but we've seen multiple of them. Some more random bits and pieces. Right now we're back at the compound 2. Goodness gracious, my nose is bothering me. What was that? It was right. Was this like a guardhouse or something? Let me reconvene with my reference. Yeah, I'm not sure what this would have been, because you can see structures there. So I must be... I don't know, sometimes I think this map I'm looking at doesn't make any sense. Because it's either a storage building or lavatory, but none of them are in the right position. So I'm not entirely sure what that is. Before we do go, I want to see if there's any remnants of the guardhouse, because it was a Tetris piece building, you know, a little three-pointed one. So I want to see if there's any remnants of that. And I'd still love to see a guard tower, because there's no point really going down there. And it's everything that we saw in compound 3. So I think we'll try to find our way to this guardhouse and see if there's any remnants of it. All right, and unsurprisingly, the guardhouse had its own gate. Because I would imagine... See, that's... Because I was thinking the weapons would have been stored in those buildings off the property. But then it would have made more sense to have the guns and whatever for the guards in the guardhouse. Would it not? So, I don't know. I'm not sure what those concrete blocks would have been used for. Because it's not like it's a bank or anything. So again, you can kind of see a bit of the T-shape I was talking about. And we're now in the guardhouse. The American soldiers would have walked right outside this door and into the compound, seeing all the barracks of Compound 3, Compound 2, and then Compound 1. So it's like a layered thing. You kind of see ground level, the next level, and then the next one up there above that. And then of course the gate would kind of be right, or the fence line would be right around this building. Well, plus the other gate that was for this building. So you'd kind of see a lot of that. Yeah, and this is where you would start your day as a prison guard. It was a giant compound. It really was. I don't even know how long I've been out here, but it's been a bit. I'm gonna pause. Ooh, that might actually be the guardhouse right over there. I see something kind of sticking up, so let's go see if that is the case. And this is why we pay attention to where we're walking. Oh, I don't think it's gotten to skin though. Ooh. Come on. Oh shoot, here, let's get a stick. Ah, I feel it poking me a little bit. God, there's cactus every... Oh shoot. Ah, get off of me. Alright. There we go. Oh, goodness gracious. Walking through here is not easy. But yeah, I think this might be the guardhouse over here again, so hopefully I don't run into a cactus or a snake this time. Gonna be honest, would rather walk into cactus than a snake. This better be the guardhouse. Nope, that's the... Never mind. Or guard tower, not house. We were just there. Oh, goodness gracious. So, I really hope everybody enjoyed. I don't know how much people are interested in this stuff, like I am. But I thought I'd record my adventures through here anyways. Oh, it's a bee. That's a bee. We don't need that. I would assume that this is remnants of the tower, because I think they're all gone. They were probably all made out of wood anyways, so they probably only had, you know, concrete supports or something like that. Well, as we walk out of the POW camp, this has been an experience. It really has. This is the first time I've ever been to, honestly, anything really World War related. I mean, I've been to Pearl Harbor, you know, the start of the US getting into stuff. But for prisoner camp stuff, this is the first time I've ever been to one. And regardless of having no structures, it's still just an interesting feeling walking around a place that held prisoners. I mean, this beautiful landscape is part of World War history.